the
Any day.
Tuesday.
Those people working in Saturday, Sunday, means, they can leave weekly holiday any day.
Yes, because the companies in Mexico working 20 hours, 24 hours, 7 days, and we have a different shifts.
Mhm.
So, Brenda, what the time of shift? It's 8 hours or more than 8 hours?
Depending the shift. For example, one person working Monday to Thursday
Mhm.
and working 12 hours. But the normal turn is 10 hours per day.
But salary is too good. No matter 10 hours per day, you have to do, but salary is good. In India, salary only $1. Most of the people are getting per month dollar salary. Enough. Why, Pankaj sir?
Yes, yeah, here labor cost is very.
Reputed company in the MNC companies, if you are doing at a higher level, you will get only 1,000 per month dollar. So India is very bad from you.
Here we can't compare Surendra sir in dollar because here is popular rupees as like, and there is also other currency.
If we compare country to country, so we have.
Yes, Surendra sir, sound is sometimes not coming
The
proper.
things like oil, if you are purchasing, you will purchase in only dollar. And if you want to purchase a mobile phone, it is based upon the cost of dollar. Like if you are purchasing iPhone, you have to pay 1,000. They put in Metro, $1,000 you can buy iPhone. But different is be $1,000 to purchase iPhone. You have to all India by month. Let's go in not going.
Surendra sir, your sound is sometimes not coming proper. Don't know what the reason. Yes, Brenda.
Yes.
Any topic, Surendra sir, Brenda?
Um,
Can you discuss? Price is different country to country, but thing is same. Yes, Surendra sir, it will be okay.
Difference between the countries.
Country to country, price is different, but mobile,
Okay.
mobile, gari, car is same. Suppose iPhone price, I think Mexico price is different, USA price is different, Canada price is different. But mm, mobile iPhone is same. Yes, Brenda.
Yes. The brand is different, but the people purchasing iPhone because it's the most famous brand. In Mexico, the regular iPhone, the cost is 100 $1,000. And we have a two popular brand. It's a Samsung. I don't know in India, uh, Samsung is a popular
Samsung.
Samsung and iPhone. But actually, I using iPhone because I like the design. But in the past, I using Samsung because it's more accessible, the price.
Yes, Samsung and iPhone is very popular in the world, I think.
Yes.
So if we in the in Mexico $1,000 price, so in USA and Canada is also same price or it's different?
It's the same.
Same price.
Yeah, it's the same price. For example, many persons in Mexico crossing the border only for purchasing the iPhone. It's the same price,
But
but the difference, but the difference is if you purchase the iPhone in USA, you have more quality.
if model is same, means quality will also same. Doesn't matter.
No, it's not the same. No, yes, this important because if you produce in Mexico, for example, one television, the quality is different. The quality of the components is different
Why?
because USA want more quality, but in Mexico is no regular to see the quality. The product for USA have more quality. No matter if the same company produce the same television, all product to export to USA have more quality.
But suppose Sony product, Sony Bravia one model. As per my view, it's the same in India, in USA, and Mexico. Because Sony brand, Sony product is like international brand. If I
Yes, Sony is international. Sony is international, but example, in Mexico have a different company for Sony, but all the product is made in Mexico but export to USA. The quality for the product to export to USA is using different quality, but the other product they stay and using in Mexico use other quality.
yes, so I have doubt is for this. Suppose it's Sony product making a television, LED TV, television, 1 lakh piece. So 10,000 export to India, 20,000 export to China, I like 5,000 export to America, and 5,000 Canada and Mexico. So product is same na. Product has no any different because model is same.
No, no, no. Uh, it's not the same. The quality is different. Yes, you see the product is the same model, but the components, the internal components have different qualities. Why the television to export to USA have more quality? Because they have different protocols. USA demand more quality, but Mexico do no demand more quality.
So price is also different.
Yeah, maybe the price is different.
Yes, in India we also see that Delhi petrol price is different, Mumbai price is different, Bihar price is different, state-wise price is different. Yes, Surendra sir.
Actually, I don't know about much.
No, petrol price, petrol price. Suppose
Yes, it is
100,
different. Price is different because taxes of the states are different.
yes, some taxes.
Due to different taxes slab, so due to different taxes, so every states have different taxes, so rate is also different. Rate becomes automatically different if there is 28 in some states 28%, in some states 30%, so like that. So that is why uh, at every states their rates are also different. Likewise, uh, also mobile phone.
Yes. So you understand, Brenda? State to state, not country. State to state price is also different due to taxation.
Yeah, the
That,
price is different, but the qual
yes, yes. Sorry.
yeah, your voice is not coming, Surendra.
Yes.
Now,
In India, oil is like in India there is one tax system GST, but unfortunately Indian government is not including the oil in GST system. In GST higher level the tax rate is 28%, but uh, due to a lot of taxes taking by the government, oil that is imported from the other country, it is not considered the item of GST. It, Indian government has put the oil out of the GST slab, and there is extra charges also we have to pay. Indian citizen has to pay extra charges on the oil. That is why its rate is high.
What is the cost for liter to gasoline or
Uh,
oil?
at present,
Petrol for the petrol price, I think uh, 1 point something dollar per liter. 1.2 maybe.
No, it's the same here.
Rate is same.
Yes, it's the same. But the people here prefer to cross into USA for oil because in USA the oil have a different quality. they have more quality in USA. The people cruising for oil.
But how they cross if they at the border they want to visa? So every time they had visa to cross the border.
Yeah, different people have a visa, and they prefer to charge uh, gasoline in USA because they have more quality.
Mhm.
So I think USA,
But in
Canada,
Mexico, it's not pure. The gasoline is not pure because they make the gasoline with different components, mix different components, and it's not pure gasoline. I said to Pacacha, in Mexico we have a different international companies like a Samsung, and Samsung export different television to USA, but the quality uh, for the products to export to USA using different quality the components because USA demand more quality and they have a different protocols in the process. It's not the same product for Mexico. Yes, it's the same brand, the same model, but the quality is a difference because in USA supervise the quality of the product, but in Mexico no supervise that.
so I think in USA, demand of product is as like updated means it's not a normal model. Yes, they have need more and more quality.
Yes,
And Mexico, Canada demand is normal quality. Compared to USA, it's lower price. Yes,
yes. The component is the same, but the quality is not equal.
yes. So maximum Mexico people interested for purchase material from USA, Canada, due to quality good.
Yes, yes. This is who produce Mexico for international or external company. The primary material primary works to import to USA, and Mexico produce the final product, but all material are from USA. Here is the manpower. Here is the manpower using the person for because the salary is a less, and when the product is end, Mexico export the final product to USA, but the primary material is import to USA. They sell the primary material for produce the final product.
Means USA provide material and
Yes,
after
yes,
assemble, after
yes,
getting material, once again Mexico
yes.
need to export.
Return the product. Surrender. Your voice is not coming.
Hello.
Yes, Sundar sir.
Yes, yes, I'm hearing. Actually, USA is the rich country, so USA do not want to make pollution. That is why USA government offer to other countries to make hello to
Yes.
product to produce the things like European country also they do not want to produce at their own country the things they want to produce the things in other countries and they buy from other country because they are rich so rich so they do not want to make pollution they want to make pure environment I think that is why
I never think that. I only think in the less salary, but you are right.
actually
We have a
industrialization has come in western countries first but they become so rich after some time and they shift the industry to other countries like Asia and other sectors. So to, to produce the things, but and they are so rich now and they do not want to make pollution. But India, like country and China, they want more and more to produce because a lot of population are here. So employment is also main problem. For the employment, government want to establish new industry here and make products here to give job also. How much pollution they make, the industry makes, no matter. Main problem is to provide the job to their citizens. That is why a lot of companies are now is being established here in India. But in European countries, industrialization has over, so they are not paying attention on the industry. They are that produce a lot of uh, pollution.
Yes, Brenda, do you know Unilever Limited?
yes, but I never think in the pollution. I only think in the less salary. Yes, USA have the primary material they export to Mexico, and Mexico and the final product and return to final product to USA. But I never think in in the pollution. I only think in the new jobs and etc.
Yes, you are right.
But
You are right. No, yes, you are right. Uh, salary is very low cost in India also. That is why a lot of countries, a lot of industry paying attention to here establish because labor cost is very low. Like I have I have given example of professionals. It was the example of professionals they are earning $1,000 per month. This is the salary of professionals. So just imagine how is the what is the salary of labor caste and lower people. They're getting only five
yeah,
thousand or $500 or $200 per month salary. Enough. That is enough. Even $100 per month salary is in India. So very cheap rates you can find the people because there is job problem. All the people are finding searching out their job no matter how is the salary. Very bad situation we are living in this country.
but it's for the population, right? You have a like a 2 billion of population.
Yeah.
But why is a big population? Yes, a big country, but you have a lot of population. The population is not
Actually,
controlled.
actually, in India, a lot of religions people are living along with, like Hindus, Muslims, Buddhists. A lot of religious people are living, and like particularly, I will say only for Muslims. Muslims are not following the family planning rules here in India. They say that it is opposed of my religion, so I will not follow that. So they are making a lot of population, particularly. But nowadays, in India, population fertility rate, that is called fertility rate. Fertility rate is 2.1. So it is now not so high, but by demographically change is being here because Muslims population is growing very fast and all over India fertility rate 2.1. But if you go by religion, Hindus fertility rate is 1.6 and Muslims fertility rate is uh, 2.6 or something. So there is big difference between
Yes,
Hindus and Muslims fertility rate. Yeah,
the Muslim have a different tradition. They have a procreate.
they do not follow. If government promoting family planning,
Hello. Sir,
three children, four children,
yes,
a lot of
sir.
things are doing.
It's parent calling you. Yes, sir.
Yes, somebody calling. I'm cutting the phone, but he's like fool.
So, Brenda, in Mexico, population is not a problem right now.
Mm, yeah, it's not a big problem because actually, the young relationship, the young person thinking only in one or two children because the life is not easy.
Yes, so those
Um,
people are educated. They think that yes, one or two kids is
yes, in
also
Mexico,
sufficient. But those people are not educated. They think that, and here we see that practically those maximum people are want to at least
the,
one son, and that's why the reason they have
yeah, but that
more
yes,
than two
but
children.
the situation depending the can you hear me?
Yes, yes,
Okay, but that the situation depending of the class social because the rich or middle class, the people prefer only one or two kids because it's more easy to create to facilities the commodity to the children, better education. But if you have a three or four children, it's a complicated because the life is not cheap. Uh, I prefer to one or two children and more quality for the children's, better education, more attention. But for the class poor, no matter if they have two, three, four childrens, but the situation is these childrens.
Yes,
But for the normal class, they prefer one or two childrens. The people see the situation. The people is intelligent and see the situation, the world change, the climate, the weather, etc. Different disaster, natural disaster, uh, we have in the world, and the young people thinking I prefer one or two children because it's not easy for the new generation stay in the world, and why get more kids to the world. I prefer only one because it's not easy.
yes. Here we also seen that a lot of government is also provide facilities. So government told us those family has more than two children, they will not receive any facilities of government. This type of thing is also going on for means popularize one or two children only. But practically,
It's it's better.
yes, yes. But people many,
And the other part is and the other part is the young person don't have a kids because they prefer be free and travel in different part
yes.
with
Now
kid without
nowadays,
kids.
this type of people is also present in society. Yes, maximum people think
Yes.
that our life is sufficient. they, they never try.
But the new generation thinking way to 30 years old and have a kids, only one or two kids because it's sufficient.
Yes, also here in India also we are thinking, actually I have two sons only. I have two sons, and most of the Hindu people are thinking for only one child, because there is land shortage also present there. Very few land property. Uh,
Sir, your voice is sometimes not coming.
Hello.
Yes, yes, Sundar sir. Now it's okay.
I'm saying that in India also people are thinking only for two child, and most of the Hindu people are thinking only about only one child.
Yes. So as per naturally, I think Sundar sir, two kids is sufficient. It's okay because if maximum
Land property is less. It is decreasing, not increasing.
like husband and wife, two-person, so two kids will sufficient.
Yes. So,
So
so that is why Hindu rate of fertility is declining very fast.
so it's good or bad, Sundar sir?
If all the community think so, then better. Otherwise, it is bad because it would be the responsible for demographic change. If in India demographic change would be, so a lot of problems will happen, like very dangerous situation would be.
So then the USA environment means people thinking and Mexico people it's the same one and two kids or it's different. What is
I-
your opinion?
Actually, actually, it's the same, but the, but in USA only have one kid.
One kid is not sufficient because in mating two people producing one kid, so that is mean half of the fertility rate, 0.5 fertility rate. It is very bad situation. One fertility rate is very bad situation. Uh, Population of that country will decline very soon. So fertility rate for establish the population same at the same strength should be 2.1, not more than 2.1, not less than 2.1.
Yes, but the young people don't wanna kids because they prefer to be free and traveling in different parts of the of countries.
But situation would be very bad like Japan. Japan is struggling for their population. In Japan, fertility rate is very low, and there is the majority of old people. Old age people are very high at the very high, and because very few young people are being married, they are living in relationship. So that is why they are not interested for producing child. So very bad situation. But Japan government is announcing the incentive for producing children. If you are going to date, you will be paid money to enjoy your life by the government. And if you produce child, you will also get money from the government side. Like that is scheme is also is going on in Japan, and China also started initiative to introduce this thing.
But China have a lot of population.
No matter population is high, but rate is very low now. Now fertility rate is very low, so situation for the future vision, China is seeing what will be in future. So China has also to suffer same condition like Japan.
Okay. In
Yeah,
USA
that
is in USA the people adopt childrens. But it's not the same. Adopt is not the same. You own childs.
Hello.
hello, I'm audible.
Yes, actually, what happened, Brinda? Yes, yes, Surendra sir,
Yes.
you are audible. Yes, Surendra sir, you want to say something?
In India, you have an orphanage.
Yes,
Sorry, India has.
orphanages are there in cities, but at very few. You cannot find
Okay.
here and there orphanage center. You can find. You have to go if you want to find an orphanage. To so I have to go like 50 kilometer to find orphanage. There is no orphanage common in India because all the married people are living happily with all the life, all whole life. They do not. Very few people want to second marriage, and very few people are divorcing themselves. Orphanage is not common.
Yes, maybe this is the situation in USA. USA have many orphanage, and the young people only say, "I prefer to adopt one kids. I don't have a kids. I prefer to adopt." But it's not the same. You have your own son. It's okay to adopt, but I prefer have my own kids.
Yes, actually biological kid is different. So always so to produce their own son, own daughter, uh, your attachment would be greater than the adopted son or adopted daughter. And actually, Brenda, we are taught in such a way. So we are taught to our responsibility is not for taking enjoyment in our life. We are our responsibility is to make path for your future, for your upcoming generation. So not enjoyment for this life is not for enjoyment. Also think about your children. We are taught in such way. How your generation would be, how what you are giving to your upcoming generation. So always we are thinking so, and we are taught so.
Sir, so I think education is needed, Surinder sir,
Yes,
because
education is the most important thing.
yes,
Without
because
without without education, no animal.
yes, that's why the reason maximum those people are not educated. They think that yes, more children will be good for his family.
Yes,
But
yes.
educated people think that no, one and two kids will be good because they think that doesn't matter how many kids, if one or two kids, but they have good talent, good education, it's good for his life. This is the main big difference. Yes, Brenda, Sundar sir.
Yes, I always say to my mom, the best inheritance for me is the education.
So, but what happened, Brenda? In some countries, government decided. that one as like China. Yes, Surinder sir. In ancient time, China provided rule: one family, one kids only.
But
And
China has changed their rule.
yes,
Yes,
nowadays they
now
advertise.
China is giving incentive for
Yes,
producing
nowadays.
two child.
Yes, nowadays
And
they.
yes, China is produce China's theory has changed. China want to produce 1 to 3 child. Sorry, 2 or 3 child per family.
Yes, it's a totally opposite in ancient time his decision. Yes, Surinder sir.
But
Yes.
it's complicated change that because if you grow up with this idea, only one child, and now they pretend to be one or two or three kids, this is not possible because you have created with this idea only one kid.
Practically, it's not smoothly work. This type of mentality because one time people think yes, one kids is sufficient, and after some years, government wants to know 2 and 3 kids needed. So
Yeah,
it's also
yes, change the mentality on for the new generation. It's a complicated
yes.
Hello.
and now they pretend to change the idea for two or three kids.
But practically, it's a very big implement by our people.
Actually, China government can anything. China is doing
Yes.
but China government can so अगर people following rule only one child or so one child was very for people. If they don't follow this rule for very for you. But now ten or very child. So all people feel bad.
Yes,
Also,
sir, your sound is sometimes not coming in proper. So I think time to time our people mentality is also changed. Yes, if we compare to our ancient time maximum family we see that 3 to 4 kids in one family.
Yeah,
But
but it's complicated because but it's
right now,
complicated because
yes, yes, yes,
if you have a for I don't know 1,000, the idea was one kid. It's complicated in change. No matter if it's the government incentive to with money to have more kids because the government don't care the kids. Yes, they provide uh, l- a field money because I don't think it's a lot of money. Only field money per month maybe, but the government don't care the kids.
good morning sir.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Sir, today we are discussing regarding population.
Hmm. Okay.
Yes, because right
Population.
now
Population in the world.
Yes.
That's a good topic.
Surrender, yeah. Surrendra sir say in China the government try to incentive to the new generation have 2 or 3 kids, but in China in the ancient time only was permit one kid for family, and change the
Right.
mentality for the new change the mentality for the new generation. It's a complicated because you grow up with this idea only what kids it's a sufficient for the family, and now why try to change to more kids for family. Yes, the government provide more money for if you have more kids, but the government don't care the kids.
Yeah, in Singapore also same.
Oh, it's the same.
Yeah, more kids, more money.
The government, but the government no pay uh one don't pay money for have more kids, right?
Yeah, only in the beginning they pay.
Okay, only in the beginning, but the kid is for all life.
Yeah. Yes, yes.
Yes,
Yeah, it's like bonus incentive they give to have more kids.
yeah, that only in the first 1 or 3 months first they pay the bonus, but the kids have different necessity. The education is
Yeah, yes.
the education, food, other necessities have the kids, not only
Mm,
the first 3 months.
correct, correct. You're right.
And in India, sir, we see that only means maximum people nowadays interested for one and two kids is sufficient.
Yeah, now India is the largest populated country in the world. It has gone beyond China, I think. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I think total population of the world is how much now? How many billion? 7 or 8 billion, right? You can Google, I think 7 or 8 billion. Not sure.
Yes, in India, I remember her 2 billions, 1 or 2 billions.
1.35, I think.
Yes, 1.4, 1.35.
Okay,
Yeah. And total is how much? 7 or 8 billion. And then we have limited resources on the planet. So all these needs to be managed very well. And in some part of country we have very little population, like in Canada, only 1 or 2% per square kilometer. They have very large land and less people.
Here in
yes,
Google,
but
sir,
yes,
788.
but
So 7.88 billion.
Yes, here so as per 2021 data, 788 crore.
How many? Oh, yeah, 7.88. So that is your 7.88. Now I think it is more than that. Maybe 8 billion.
Yes, yes, it's 8 billion people. Yes, sir.
Mm. So in so population has to be seen also with respect to population density. So when I came to Singapore, the population density was 5,000 people per square kilometer. Now it is 8,000 people per square kilometer. Can you believe?
It's for the
and in
bonus.
Canada only 2 people per square kilometer.
Yeah, but the difference in Canada is don't have a good, no all part in Canada is for a living. They
Yeah, I
have
think same for
a
Australia.
complete, yeah, it's a complicated the weather.
Yeah, I think Australia also same thing. In the center of Australia, there is a big desert, so people can't stay there.
Yes, Canada is a big country, but no
Yeah,
all part of Canada
livable.
uh, live person and don't have
Agree.
a agriculture.
Right.
Yeah.
So population can be boon as well as curse. So if you see for India, population is a boon right now because most of the population is young population between 30 to 40 or less than that. So young people means you have more productive population available with more innovative ideas. So and also whatever you produce, you can consume within the country because you have so many people to consume it. So young population and consumptions within the country makes you self-reliant. So India is in unique situation right now. Not sure about Mexico and China, America. If you see Japan, they need more people to be imported from outside because they have all aging population. So they have less young people and more aged people. So this is a unique challenge in Japan. So they want more immigrated people to run the economy, to pay the taxes. How is it in Mexico, Brenda?
In Mexico, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. The population.
Hmm.
It's a regular. The
Okay.
young people only have one or two kids.
Okay. Okay. But how are the resources
The resources.
like food and other things?
It's a
Food,
good
housing.
it's a good it's a expensive, but it's a good. We have a house, but yes, we have a different class social. The high, the
Hmm.
middle, and the poor. Yes, we have a poor people.
Right.
We have our resources. It's not a problem here, but the poor
Hmm.
is in all countries. Maybe in all not in all countries, but in Mexico we have poor people.
Right.
But the government don't help, only help the kids, but not help the other person because the government think we have the same opportunities.
Hmm. Okay.
And why provide to the poor person, why provide different things.
Hmm.
The government thinking they have the same condition, they have hands, feet, uh,
Hmm.
they why this person don't have a job if this person have the same opportunity like me.
Hmm. Right.
In Mexico we have a lot of company,
Right.
and all company are hire different person. This is
Hmm.
not this is not one limit.
Right. Hmm.
So, sir, main thing is population and education. Education is also needed because we see that in village areas right now, you also more than two kids family,
Right.
and particularly region basis means those Muslim population is also going on in very high way,
Hmm.
high rate because they think that it's a as per his religion they
Hmm.
have no need to any family planning type.
Hmm.
Yes.
So there is a world population meter that shows you what is the current population and how fast it is growing. So I see every less than a second, two or three people are, you know, getting born. I will send the link. Let me send you guys the link. This is very interesting. This is called
Okay.
Worldometer. Worldometer or World Population Clock.
It's online. The board is online.
Yeah, World Population Clock is online. You could open it. Could you see it? I don't know how to send in the link here. Is there any chat link here?
Yes.
In call messages, right?
Yes. In call message.
Yeah, I just sent it.
Okay. Thanks.
So now the current population is 8 billion. And today number of people died, born 146,000 people born and 73,000 people died. So net growth is 73,000 people.
It's approx double.
Yes, double. So number of people dying is just half of the people, getting born. And then total births this year is 62,000, 62 million, and death is 31 million. So always half. Half people are dying and double of that getting born. And every year we are adding 31 million people to the planet. So if it continues, then how it will look like? So number one is still China now, 1.45 billion. India is 1.42 billion, only few million less. Followed by USA, 336 million. Indonesia, number 4, 282 million. Followed by Pakistan, Nigeria, Brazil, Bangladesh, Russia, Mexico, Japan, Ethiopia, Philippines, Egypt, Vietnam, Democratic Republic of Congo, Iran, Turkey, Germany, Thailand. I don't see Mexico anywhere. In top 20, I don't see Mexico.
Yes, Mexico is I think it's a small country. Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. And after 2000, if you see the growth of population, after 2000, it is exponential growth of population. I don't know why. So if you see in, you know, before 1750 AD, the population growth was very, very slow, almost linear. Population was not growing. Only after 18th century, population growth has started. 18th or 19th century, there is a huge growth in population. In
Yes, that's
8000 BC, yeah, in 8000 BC, means 8,000 or 10,000 years back, The total world population was only 5 million. 5 million matlab 50 lakh, 50 lakhs,
Yes, yes,
Whole,
sir.
whole,
Whole
world,
whole
world.
world. And over the 8,000 year period, up to 180, it grew to 200 million. Wow. And then after that, and after that, during the 20th century alone, the population in the world has grown from 1.65 billion to 6 billion. Wow. In 1970, there were roughly half as many people in the world as there are now. So from 1970 to now, it is double. Means in 1970, only 4 billion people were there. And in 2023, 8 billion. So,
last 50 years,
Last 50 years, it's a double.
yes, that's why I'm saying it is exponential. It's exponential. Amazing, eh? Thanks for bringing this topic. I myself learning about it.
Yes,
Wow.
and actually we have a different disaster in the world,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
Maybe
with
the
different life.
yes, yes. You're right.
But no matter what happened in the world, the population is increased.
Yes, currently it is on increase. You're right. That's true. Wow. And if you see median age population about 30.9 years, means 30 years old, median age of the population. Means most of the population is young because most of the people were born in last 50 years, right?
yes,
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes.
50%.
Percent.
Yeah. So that's why median age is 30 years old in
It's
2020.
a it's a young.
So this is a good thing for whole world that a lot of population is young population.
But
But
Now if you,
sir,
sir,
proper
but proper
guidelines will
guideline will
yes,
also needed.
otherwise
Otherwise, if
young people is
young people is it's a
like,
two sides also, advantage and disadvantage also.
yeah, pros and cons of
yes,
young people. I agree. Now in next 80 years, how the population will grow? I'm looking at that. So world population projection.
present and future. Yes,
Yes, yes, Brenda. This is, I think, future.
no, not top,
Yes,
bottom, bottom.
Bottom, bottom,
yes,
bottom. Yes, yes. No, no.
Yes, 2000,
Yes,
yes,
2050, 2050.
yes. This is a
10 billion,
10 billion, 2058, something.
yes. Then no matter what happened in the world, no matter the disaster, the population increase.
what happened?
What happened? It's like a series. Yes. One, one to two, two to four, four to eight, something like.
Yes, I don't like the fears. This I don't like this because I see that death today. It's not good because you don't have idea what happened with this person. This screen this screen is like a movies.
Yes, yes.
I don't like this. I never see this page because
Yeah.
I never type in Google, but I don't like the screen
Hmm.
because I see
So
that that's today.
yeah, it is very alarming, right? very alarming. And if you
Yes, it's
see,
alarming.
by 2100 means say another 77 years from now, the world population will be 10.8 billion,
Yes.
and the population will be quite aging population. Means the median age not given. Sorry, population density will increase definitely. Now, like in Singapore, we have 8,000 people per square kilometer, but overall world it is 54 people per square kilometer on an average, and that will change to 73 people per square. So we will have less and less land available. More people will habitate the land.
Yes. Actually, in Mexico, no matter it's a hill or mountain, the people
Mm,
building in this space because the
right,
population increase and need more houses, new buildings, and new industries for support the employees, new employees, new job for this population, and the land is a cover for more houses, more buildings.
right. If you see the public health expenditure, it is increasing continuously in dollars. Total public health expenditure today is $6 billion, and it is increasing every day, every second. And public education expenditure overall is $4 billion, and public military expenditure is $2 billion, $1.9 billion on an average. Like some country have very high military expenditure, some have low. And number of cars produced in this year is wow, 39 million. Bicycles produced 72 million. Computer produced 109 million, means 1 billion computers produced this year. So we have more computers than cars produced.
Computer and
Computer
mobile.
and mobile demand will never end.
Yeah. And money spent on video games, 129 million just for in one day.
In one day,
One day, yeah. That's a
the
lot.
video games, yeah, the video games is a popular.
Yeah.
But I don't like the video games because the kids, the new generation, spend that time in that.
Mm. And CO2 emission is 16 billion tons this year. So all these are indicators that are affected by population. And money spent for obesity related disease in the USA today, $263 million. And money spent on weight loss programs today, $77 million. That's a good business. Just in one day, $77 million people are spending on weight loss programs. Water used this year, 2 billion million liters. Wow. So that will be what? 2 billion million is how much? 10 to the power 9, and so 10 to the power 12 pico, 2 picoliters this year.
I think sir,
I
it
think,
is
sir, in future drinking water will be also very
important.
important.
Yes, that's why I'm saying.
It's a natural
It's a
Means
natural resource.
we have 8 billion people and we are drinking. Yeah, you're right. So water can be a very scarce resource. Energy. Good news. Energy used today is 191 million megawatt hour, out of which 162 megawatt hour is produced from non-renewable sources just in one day. And from renewable sources, only 28 million megawatt hour. So there is a huge gap between non-renewable and renewable. Non-renewable is like, which emits CO2 and thermal and all those. So there is a big gap. Oil pumped just today is 39 million barrel. Oil left is 1400 billion barrels. Days to the end of oil is 40 years. So in 40 years, all the oil will be gone. And days to the end of coal is 147,000 days. Coal will end. And this year, 20 million abortions took place. Oh, cigarette is smoked today. 6.2 billion cigarettes is smoked today. Wow. Means total population is 8 billion and 6 billion is cigarette smoked.
Above 60%.
Money spent on illegal drugs this year. $185 billion. Road traffic accident fatalities this year 626,000. 0.6 million. Less than a million people die on road. This is very interesting data.
Yes.
So, sir, overall, we need to care about our nature because it will be not happen in one day or 1 year. As like oxygen, water, it's depend on nature.
Correct. Looks like we are solving one problem, but we are creating another problem. So yesterday I was reading that we are going towards solar energy, but those solar panels have life of only 20 years. What will happen to those solar panels made of silicon and aluminum and then plastics?
Then one solution with one problem in the future.
Yeah.
I say to Pankasha the other day, the government manipulate the weather, bombarding the
Hmm.
clouds for weather. But I think this weather is not a natural weather. The weather is
Hmm.
not natural because they provoking that. And I
Correct.
think in the future, maybe we have a more diseases for this practice.
Correct. Correct. Agree. This is so interesting topic. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Total urgent and future also.
Hmm.
Here we are.
Here we are, and where will we go after 40 years, 50 years?
Yeah. Uh, okay, I have to go for a
Yes,
meeting
yes.
now.
Thank you, sir. Right now,
Thank you.
7:23. So,
Yeah,
okay,
I
sir.
have some
Thank you for the link.
urgent things, some
Yes.
deadlines to be met. I'm traveling to Thailand for a
Oh,
conference and golf.
okay.
So I have to
Thank
send
you.
my slides. Yeah. Thank you. Take care, man.
Bye,
Take
bye.
care, Brinda.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.